Hey everyone, Jeff here. Know it's been a while. I haven't been on here. I said a couple of times I'll be back on here doing videos and doing my thing and showing you some more snowmobile stuff and some other things. And I gotta be honest with y'all. I've been going through some big time personal issues, not just with myself, but myself and my spouse we're having issues. And we're finally figuring out what it's to be like a couple all over again. And finally having to give in to those, what is it, the root of all, no, it's the root of all evil, which is money, but no, the root problem is things that I have down deep inside that I don't let a lot of people know. I hide a lot. Yes, good old facade of things, just like everybody else in this fucking world. We all have issues, we all have problems we don't deal with. But as you get older, they seem to creep up, and it happens more often. Just to let some of you all know, some of you younger ones, even 10 years from now, you ones that are a decade younger than I am, serious. And even if you're probably dealing with it now, because it's common. And for some of those that are a little bit more wiser and have a little bit more maturity on me, which I'll admit it, I'm not that. I'm a slow learner. So, for me, I'm just learning now what it's like to actually physically really be an adult, a human being, to care, to love, to be considerate to others and care for others. And think about each other. Think about others. What I mean by each other is definitely family first and foremost. And that sometimes gets put aside more than anything. Life becomes engulfed in yourself and your job or your abilities or whatever you're able to do in life, successfully, unsuccessfully, it doesn't matter. Everybody struggles through something. Deep down inside, whether it's the child in you, the teenager, the 21-year-old, waiting for that day, all those things that you grow up and you see everybody that's older than you, go, gosh, I can't wait to get to here. I can't wait to do this. I can't wait to do that. Well, instead of saying you can't, well, you gotta wait or whatever, do. So I'm telling you, there's a lot more out there in life than just being bound up in the same place all the time and seeing the same things over and over again. And reminders of things, being reminders of life, reminders. I'm saying if you live in the same place you went to elementary school or even kindergarten, some of you probably thought, I'm not going to say all of you because I know there's a lot of older folks who live in that same town or city that they've grown to know and love and don't want to leave it, and they only get out when it's, I guess, when they want to, I guess. That's what I'm saying. I want to say plausibly when they want to, but I can't say that because it's not it. Because I know not everybody can travel. Not everybody can do everything. And that I totally understand. You can't get everywhere. You can't go anywhere sometimes. Maybe you don't even have any family left. Maybe you're the only one left. And you live somewhere in, let's say out in the plains, out west there, out in those high plains areas, be that old high plains drifter, that good old Clint Eastwood movie, bumbling and stumbling around, from little small podunk towns to the next, and running into people who love their town, I'm just trying to say to you that for me, the small town mentality, the hillbilly, the redneck, whatever you want to call it, it's in me. Even though I've grown to love where I live, I love the state of Michigan. It's got a lot of beautiful things. I have to leave where I live to go find those. And I know where those are at because I found those as a kid. I got to get lucky to find certain spots in this state that people have probably never seen, that we didn't know that we had. And it's not just here, it's up in the UP too. The UP's a beautiful place. It's got a lot of materials, minerals, everything that some places have. They just don't invest time up there in the UP to go back and get it. They say it's all drained out or all gone, which I think is bullshit. It's there. They just don't want to invest their money up there. They don't want to mess with the Indians, let's just say. A lot of Indians left in the UP. And especially in the lower part of the upper part of the glove, the mitten. But hey, for me, it's great because I have a lot of friends that live up where I was born, up north, that are Indian descent or Indians themselves, 100%. And I love them, man. They're great people. But what I'm saying is, your state or wherever you live may have something beautiful. Go see it. Go check it out before you forget about it. Or you forget about family. You forget about life. You forget why we're living in a beautiful place we live in this planet that was made for you and me, And it's a living organism. It breathes, it grows, it does whatever it wants to do. And whatever we do to it, it just pisses it off more. So that's what happens. It's just like any animal waiting for its prey, and more of the prey, and we're definitely feeding into it. But I'm getting away from what I'm saying is myself. What I mean, why I got away like that is it's important to me to be that way, not to be cooped up in one place and stay there and not get out of the house and travel, not get out and see the things that was given us to see. Not to hide, be at work, or hide at home to do nothing. Or do something around the house when you have to, even though you need to. Those things get left behind. I'm not saying I don't do those. I do some of the things. I do everything. But the one thing I don't do is I don't communicate. I'm a bad communicator. I'm an impulsive person. It's part of me. It's part of me being an addict. When you're an addict, you are impulsive. You do things on the moment notice, and you pay for it later. And when you get used to paying for it later, you tend to. You get into good situations. Like for me, I've been sober now 6 years. But on a drop of drink, No, one that don't really care to have any. And that had nothing to do with the liver transplant that I had too. Well, it did some, but I'm just saying, I stopped drinking before the liver decided to become cirrhosis even more than it was already cirrhosed. Yes, cirrhosed. It was. It was cooking. And hey, it's just like people who quit smoking for 20 years and all of a sudden 21 years go by and bam, you got cancer. What do? You do the best you can. You try to fight with what you got. That's it. That's when you learn to pull all your resources that you know from your own self to get, what do we say, to get the courage and strength to allow yourself to do what you need to do to survive. Instincts kick in. And some of you all know out there, when you're an addict, when you're an alcoholic, a drug addict, because I say addict, even though my drug of choice was alcohol. I loved alcohol. Liquor. Get it is quicker, right? And I'm one of those who like to drink until they passed out or blacked out. Most of the time, it was blacking out. I've hit my head so many damn times, I'm surprised I don't have any more damage than I already do. I know I'm epileptic, but did that help? Did that help it? I don't know. Maybe it did. I don't know. I was in the service thing, That's why I'm out of the service. Because I had epileptic, and when you're epileptic, you can't be on a ship. Especially me. I was down in the hole, I was an engineman. So I was in the engine room all the time. So you have valves and everything. You got stairs because you got 2 decks in an engine room. There's usually 2 floors in an engine room. So, yeah, that tells you how big the engines are or whatever type of propulsion it was. So, anyways, what I'm getting at is I've wrecked myself a lot. More than people will ever know. I mean, I'd like for people to know. That's one thing. That's for me. I like people to know who I really am. I don't want to sit here and bullshit you around the corner and tell you that the person you may see behind the camera or doing the videos or whatever, is that the real me? Am I happy that day? Maybe. Am I sad that day? Maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna have those days, everybody does. You can't tell me you don't. You can't tell me you're perfect, because if you're perfect, then you're God. Or you're some form of him, or whatever. But I don't think there's perfect anywhere. There can't be. What there can be, though, is completeness, to be complete with yourself. And I think that's about as close to perfect as you can get. Because if you can be perfect with yourself in that way, in those regards of loving those who love you, and that begins with family, first and foremost. Family is right sometimes when you're in trouble. And you're falling down, you just know you're falling down. You got nothing to grab a hold on, too, because you fucked up. You're already going down. Family, you burnt that bridge. Family's watching you fall. They're not grabbing for you. Nobody's grabbing for you. You're just going to go into that pit, and then you got to figure out how the fuck to get out of that great ass pit. Yeah. Sorry, y'all. I gotta take a break here.